You guys had just piloted the Kestrel up into space. Or more accurately, Jilliana had just piloted the Kestrel up into space.
It's very disconcerting.
Yeah. So it's been some time since then. You kind of got the hang of piloting the ship and getting it used to moving around, and you are well on your way out of the atmosphere of your home planet by the time that everyone just kind of congregates on the deck. Mr. Hurst has gathered and wrapped all of the bodies of the crew who died in the crash or afterwards, including Captain Navarez, Tarak the helmsman, and about 5 other folks. The newly promoted Captain Alana Bondar is currently up on the deck, and she is reading the final prayer of the service. Everett Blake, Tobias Alden, Ciara Elwin, Marcus Highland, Verben Tanchai, Helmsmaster Tarak Sustal, Captain Estelar Navarez. You have served with honor and died in the line of duty. We commit your bodies to the void and wish you peace and freedom wherever your souls may roam. And with that, Mr. Hurst pushes the bodies out into the void, and they drift out towards the edge of the ship's air envelope, and then they are quickly swept away in the wake of the ship. The ship is moving very fast right now, and it's not long before the bodies are gone. Captain Bondar then turns to you three and says, I'd like to speak to you on the bridge when you have a moment, and heads down below decks.
Of course, Alana.
So, what do you guys want to do?
So, I want to note my outfit first.
Okay.
Is it a morning outfit at least?
It is a morning outfit, actually.
Oh,
I've actually got a picture, so I'm using the picture to describe it.
Black sequins.
No, actually, there are no sequins in this outfit. It's a morning outfit, Annie. God. So it's got a very fitted vest bodice, and I'm actually not showing off much cleavage today.
Much.
Morning cleavage.
I mean, there's still a little bit. I can't help it. I have a very giant bosom, but it's like clustering, and then I've got like a little bit of a poofy skirt, and then I've got a black cloak on, and the only bit of glitter that I have is actually in my epaulettes, which are on my shoulders of my black cloak.
Okay. Is that it?
That's actually it. That's it today.
Okay. That's unusually subdued for you today.
Yeah, that's reserved.
Yeah, that's why I rolled on the sorrow tract.
Oh, God.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Now we know.
So,
I'll pass it along to the fan artists.
you know, you described this to me, but what I did not get from this was General Goth Lolita.
Yeah, that's basically it. General Goth Lolita. Just so everybody knows, Cacophony is dressed as General Goth Lolita today.
Mackenzie has successfully described her outfit. Is there anything else you guys would like to do?
I don't know. Honestly, I've still got Amazing Grace just ringing in my head. It's bagpipes, man.
So, are Finn and Mr. Hurst still down here?
Finn and Mr. Hurst have also headed below decks.
Okay.
I'm going to head downstairs to the crew quarters and get dibs on one of the bedrooms.
Crew quarters? Okay.
Oh, I imagine we've already called dibs since we've been on it for a little while.
I assume the one with the rug is for the captain?
That's the captain's quarters, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
the
then I
fancy
got
one.
dibs on on the one that is closest to the wardroom.
Okay. I will mark that as your room. Although once you get into the room, it's a little cramped, as expected for crew quarters above a ship. Although you would not know that, and it is in fact a bunk bed.
That's a bunk bed?
There's no way to like accurately show a bunk bed in 2D space.
Yeah, but there's 3 of us and there's 3 rooms, so I don't have to bunk with anybody, right?
You don't know, but once the ship hires on more crew, you may have to. Grab top bunk now.
Well, in that case, I get dibs on the one that's closest to the cargo bay, so I can escape if I need to.
Noted. Okay, Jilliana, what are you up to?
Jill is kind of hanging out on the top deck at the moment. I think she's probably doing some prayers to Ethla, just sort of funeral rites that she knows of. If nothing else, sort of sending them along to their next plane or whatever.
Okay. Alviva, by the way, your character would have made note of this. Captain Navarez's belongings, including that pendant with the symbol you recognized, were not sent into the void with him. They were put together and put into a box of his personal effects, presumably to pass on to any family.
Okay. And it's gone out into the void.
The body has, the personal effects are currently with the captain.
The new captain.
The new captain. Cacophony, what are you up to?
Well, after staring mournfully and statuesquely out into the void, watching everything go on, and probably after quietly playing a very sad song on my viol, I am going to head downstairs and try to actually find either Finn or Mr. Hurst. Not that I can, not that I know the sign language yet to talk to Finn, but I can start picking that up.
So, which room are you going to head to?
I know they went below deck.
Yep.
So I will. Well, it looks like the stairs head down towards the wardroom. So I'll head to the wardroom first.
Okay. Mr. Hurst is there. He is currently playing cards with himself.
Mr. Hurst.
Oh, hey.
Would you like someone to play with?
Yeah, definitely. But I did hear the captain say she wanted to talk to you. So should probably wait.
Oh, all right. How are you feeling today?
I'm okay. I'm not great. Like, a lot of my friends died. Now, I'm not feeling great about it, but
of course,
life goes on, you know?
Cacophony will put her hand on Mr. Hurst's shoulder.
You have to reach quite a bit, even sitting down.
I will stand on my tiptoes. It's true. Life does go on, and we can make new memories in their honor, Mr. Hurst.
That sounds good. Yeah. Thanks.
And then she will drift off to find Alana.
Okay. Alana is in her quarters.
Also, I claim the room closest to the wardroom. And I am, and point of note, I am very protective of that room. I don't want anyone entering until I am ready.
Okay.
I understand there's a bunk bed there, but Cacophony is very, very, very firm that no one is allowed to enter until she is ready for them to enter.
Okay.
And Juliana gets the scraps.
So I guess you're in the middle one, unless you want to bunk up with somebody else.
Nope.
Okay.
Well, honey, you gotta move if you want something. You know, you can't just wait for somebody to do it, do you? You clerks are all alike. Yeah, all alike.
Life advice from my mom, everybody.
I'd like to think that while Juliana was flying the damn ship, you guys just claimed the rooms.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, at any point where you have left the helm, the ship has stopped moving.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah. Okay, so Cacophony is headed to the captain's quarters. No, wait, I said she was on the bridge. Okay, so Juliana, if you're flying the ship, you're already on the bridge with her.
No, you're right, I guess. So was Juliana even present for that ceremony then?
She would have been, yes.
But the ship was moving.
You're right, she wouldn't have been. We're good at this, you guys. Jake, if you can edit this so it actually makes sense and I don't sound like a bad DM, that would be great.
It was a lovely image. Spelljammer is stupid. And that's why we love it.
But you are also, while you're at the helm, you are aware of everything that's happening on the ship. You can see the top deck as if you were standing there.
Oh, this is very weird.
Out of curiosity, then, if since Juliana does need to sleep at some points, at that point, do either one of us step in since we're both spellcasters too?
Presumably, and it's also presumably what the captain wants to talk to you about.
Okay.
So is anyone else up in the helm, or is it just me, the scrub who doesn't know what the hell she's doing?
It's you and the captain currently, and Cacophony is also gone to speak to the captain.
Oh, okay.
And presumably Alviva eventually wanders her way up there as well?
Yeah, okay.
So once all three of you are present, the captain has scrounged up a clean uniform from somewhere. She is currently standing sort of in front of the helm, facing it, with her hands behind her back. She's obviously trying to look very, regal and official. And she says, all right, while I appreciate that you're here to help me, however, while you are aboard my ship, I do have to treat you as members of my crew, which means you are to follow my orders. You will address me as Captain Bondar, Captain or Ma'am. Once our ship reaches Port Meridian, we can hire on a new helmsmaster, at which point we will return you to your home planet if you wish. Now, the helm needs to be handled in 8-hour shifts. Jilliana has already volunteered to handle the first shift. I need to know who's taking the second.
I will take the second, ma'am.
Right. And we are about a day out from Port Meridian, so we also need a third shift helmsmaster. And Alviva, you do have some spellcasting ability, so you would be able to fly the ship as well.
I was wondering about that.
It won't go as fast, but you will still be able to fly the ship. And the captain nods and says, all right, I don't have any duties for the rest of you while the ship is being helmed, so you're free to do as you wish. And she doesn't appear to know what to say after that, so she just kind of closes her mouth and then goes downstairs.
Meeting adjourned?
Meeting adjourned, I guess.
I imagine she's still getting used to the whole captain thing, my dears. Juliana, how are you feeling?
Wait, hold on. I'm in this room.
Yeah, we're all
Okay.
there.
You're on the bridge.
Oh,
yeah.
no. I mean, Juliana's trying to figure out which room, like, her attention is in. Wait, I'm in the... Where are we? Sorry?
We're in the bridge, dear.
Oh, okay.
Are you all right, dear?
Yes, bridge. Hi, yes.
I think
Hello.
she's suffering from space sickness or something. She's spaced out, so to speak.
I do believe that when you're in the chair, you feel more open to other places. So she's
I'm
just
sort
a
of
little
getting
confused.
like the whole ship is me, but also I am me, and the ship is not me, but the Kestrel. And look, there's a weird consciousness thing going on here. I'm gonna
It makes
sleep
sense, darling.
really well later.
Of course, dear. Take care of yourself, and if you need anything, just give a shout, and one of us will be here. Do you want some company, or would you rather just to get used to the ship feeling?
Honestly, if I can just spread out my focus for a little while, that would be. Focusing is kind of hard right now on a specific me, I think.
Of course.
Can I get some water?
Yeah. I will run down and get you some water from the galley. I'll be right back, dear.
Thanks.
Okay, Cacophony, you're headed down to the galley.
Yep.
Is anybody else doing anything else?
I'm just very concerned about Jilliana, that she suddenly is.
Okay, so you're going to stick with her?
Yeah, I'm going to stay with her.
I'm thinking about space.
So Cacophony, you run down to the galley. You see the kobold cook Finn is currently there. He appears to be like muttering angrily at the state of the kitchen and fixing things up.
So as I get in there, since I've seen people do the gestures to him, I do gently tap him on the shoulder and wave.
Okay, you tap him, he jumps a little bit and then turns to look at you and kind of calms down a little.
Okay, I wave, and then since I don't know sign language, I do gesture like I'm taking a drink, and then point up.
Finn reaches off to the side and pulls out from a drawer a slate and a piece of chalk.
Oh, perfect. So I take that and I gently write on it, Jilliana needs a drink of water. May I have a glass?
He looks at it and he goes and he pulls out not a glass, but like a water skin. And it's occurring to you that like breakable things on a ship that can get tossed around is probably not a great idea.
That's a good call.
But he fills it and hands it to you.
Okay, I erase it and I write, thank you very much. And then I put it down. And I take that skin and I head back up to Jilliana.
Okay. Jilliana, Cacophony reappears, but also you've been like fully aware of her the entire time she's been on the ship.
You've got a cowlick on the back of your head.
I know, darling. Thank you. And she walks over and she hands the water over to Jilliana.
Jilliana reaches for it, but also the ship kind of lists to the side for a sec before she's like, "Whoa, what?" And then very slowly, carefully lifts out with her human arm, her Asimir arm, takes the flask, the water skin, and slowly uncorks it, just very, very delicately and purposefully uncorks it and takes a sip. Thanks.
By the way, when the ship listed to the side, you heard a tremendous thump from downstairs and the sounds of Mr. Hurst quietly swearing to himself.
Oh, Mr. Hurst, darling. Hope he didn't
his cards all spilled. Oh.
Anything else you need?
I think that'll do it. I'm just gonna try to not move for a while, if that's cool.
All right. No, if you start yelling or something, I'm sure either I or Alviva will be here at once to be able to help.
I'll know where you are.
Yeah.
Try not to do any gross stuff in the next, she thinks about her clock, 6 hours?
I do not do anything gross, dear.
Right.
And with that, I tramp back down.
Okay. So, Alviva, the next 8 hours or so are yours.
So I've got 8 hours to spend as I wish, and I'm on an enclosed ship in the middle of nowhere. Is that about right?
Yeah. There's a ward room, which is like a rec room. There's the cargo bay. There's the galley. There's the deck of the ship, where you can watch the universe go by.
Okay. Well, when's the last time we slept? It's been a while, hasn't it?
It would have been this morning for you. According to your personal clock, and it's kind of hard to tell the passage of time out here. According to your personal clock, it is about maybe noon.
Yeah. I think, you know what? I'm going to have a nap.
Okay.
That's my go-to option in real life, too. When all else fails, have a nap.
Alviva's having a nap. Okay. I don't think you've actually, burned anything in terms of, spell slots or hit points, so we don't need to replenish anything on your character sheet, but sure, you're having a nap.
Well, it seems the most sensible option. Juliana's flying the ship. What's Cacophony doing? Meditating?
Yeah, Cacophony, what are you doing?
Well, she's probably just going to go talk to the various crew members. So I would just start with Finn and just kind of sit and write to him.
Okay.
And just trying to talk to know his life, and then I'll go play cards with Mr. Hurst.
Okay, so you head down to the galley. Finn has managed to straighten up the kitchen a little bit, and he is currently pulling out pots, pans, and ingredients. It looks like he's going to try and get ready to make dinner later on tonight.
Yeah. I pick up that chalkboard again and I write, "Do you need any help with anything?"
Finn looks at the chalkboard, looks at you, and then kind of squints around at the very small galley and shakes his head.
That's fine. I erase it and I go, and then I write, "So what planet are you from exactly?"
Okay, he motions for you to hand him the chalkboard.
I do hand it over.
Okay, he erases it and he writes Toril and hands it back.
Toril. Toril. Okay, and then I write, "And what's that like? Is it anything like ours?" Mine, I guess, because nobody else is here. And offer that back to him again.
Okay, he thinks about it and he writes, "Didn't see much of it," and hands it back.
Oh, that sounds ominous. That sounds like backstory that I don't know him well enough to get yet. So I erased that not a few times.
You haven't done his companion mission yet.
In that case, I'm going to write something else. And I write down, "It's a bit soon, sir, but if you could teach me the hand gestures to make this a little bit more convenient."
Very
if we could
small
work on
writing.
This. Very small writing. If I could, do you know the best way to learn the hand gestures so that we could communicate a bit better?
Can I interject something here? Because I'm imagining that Cacophony is a very flowing, very fancy script.
Oh yeah, her hand script is fucking fancy as shit.
And I have to imagine it doesn't translate well to tiny letters.
No, so she'll what I'll actually do is she'll write half of it, hold up one finger, then after he reads it, she'll erase it and then write the other half in very fancy script. And then she hands it back to him.
Finn looks a little taken aback by this, and he seems a little hesitant to erase all of it, but he does. And then he writes, "Go talk to Hurst," and hands it back.
She nods her head, gently erases it and tucks it away, and then heads out to the waves at him. And then, well, actually, she waves at him, does something like a gesture and a bow, and then heads out to Hurst.
Okay. Mr. Hurst is still in the wardroom. He has managed to carefully rearrange his game of solitaire on the table in front of him after it kind of went flying.
"Well, Mr. Hurst," Cacophony announces when she walks in, "I have seen the captain, I've gotten my orders, and now I'm free to play cards with you for a couple of hours."
Oh, cool. Yeah, let me just, I don't actually know how to play solitaire with two people, so let me just do a different thing.
Okay,
and he gathers up all the cards and starts shuffling them.
That's so cute.
"I do believe there is a way, sir, but I'm afraid that I am uncertain too."
It's called solitaire. Juliana's just going to be muttering to herself in the helm for a while.
Just everything she hears has a snarky comment that nobody can hear.
She's very proud of herself.
"Mr. Hurst, I was wondering about that gesture language that Finn knows, and he told me that I could talk to you and maybe start learning it."
Oh, right, yeah. It kind of takes a while, so I don't think I can teach all of it to you like right now, but I can give you some basics.
That's absolutely fine. Yeah, I figure some basics are a good start, and perhaps if we, I know we're only here technically a few days, but at least basics are a good start, you know?
Yeah, okay. And he kind of puts the cards aside and he talks you through, basically he's teaching you to finger sign the alphabet.
Yeah.
Which is the starting thing.
Sounds good.
And that's how you spend the next few hours?
Yeah, that's how I spend the next few hours.
Okay. At later on in the evening, near the end of the first shift, Finn makes his way into the wardroom and drops a couple of plates in front of each of you. Captain Bondar also makes her way out of the captain's quarters, and Finn hands her a plate as well. And then he goes up the ladder to the bridge and kind of pokes Jilliana and puts a plate on her lap.
Cacophony will very carefully sign "thank you" by spelling it out.
Okay. Finn is remarkably patient, waiting for you to finish spelling it, but then he nods and gives you a thumbs up and goes back to the galley. If everyone is ready to move on to the second shift, we can do that.
Let's do it.
Okay. So at the end of the 8 hours, Cacophony, you head up to relieve Jilliana at the helm.
I do. And I expend a spell slot, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, your highest level spell slot, burn one of those. Okay, so Alviva, you wake up from your nap to discover that somebody has left a plate of food next to your bed. It's a little bit cold, but seems fine.
Oh, that was nice of somebody. I don't mind cold food. I'm kind of used to it.
So, Jilliana and Alviva, you have free run of the ship. I'm good at words. I'm a professional writer, you guys.
Is Cacophony still on the bridge?
Yeah.
Cacophony is currently on the bridge.
I'm going to at least expend a little bit of time with Cacophony, like...
Giving me advice.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, this is going to be really weird.
This is oddly overwhelming. I see what you mean earlier with not knowing yourself from the ship self.
Yeah.
I can really see everything. This is terrifying.
Yeah, no, seeing the back of your head is definitely the weirdest part for me.
I can kind of sense that.
I don't know, but are you adjusting okay? Do you want me to hang out with you while you get centered?
I think I'm fine, my dear. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay. From the looks of it, wandering the ship, Mr. Hurst and the captain have both gone to bed. This does appear to be more or less the night shift, although it is difficult to tell because you're in space.
I'm gonna go down to the galley and make myself some tea or something.
Okay. You get down there. Finn is still up. Finn is nocturnal. So he is still in the kitchen. He is currently like cleaning and still setting to rights like all of the stuff that got scattered everywhere when the ship crashed.
I'm gonna run this by you, Kit, and you tell me whether or not this is cheating.
Yeah.
I would like to suggest that Jilliana has encountered people who signed before, but it might not be the same dialect or something, and I'd like to think she at least knows enough to like do a few basic signs like hello, how are you? You know, like the first couple of weeks of an ASL class.
I would say make an intelligence check.
Okay.
Because this is depending on like past knowledge and your ability to memorize stuff.
Fair enough.
First roll of the session!
Yay! Okay, so let's see. Get that all pulled up. So what do you want me to roll? Just like D20 plus int?
Just a straight intelligence check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great because my int mod is 0, so I'm just gonna roll a straight D20.
Okay.
11.
Okay. You've got a grasp of hello, goodbye, basic things like that. You've got about half of the alphabet that you can remember, but you do have you have a bit of a head start, but not much of one. Okay,
great. That's perfect. Jilliana sees Finn. She just sort of signs hello if she's within like eyeshot of him.
He sees kind of the hesitance in the gestures, reaches over to the slate, writes on it, and shows it to you, and it says, "Your accent is terrible."
Oh, Jilliana laughs and kind of shrugs, like, yeah, probably. She gestures to the, there's probably a kettle, I'm guessing. She gestures to a kettle and writes out tea with a question mark.
He nods and shrugs and goes back to his cleaning.
All right, cool. Then I will stay out of his way as best I can and make myself some tea.
It's worth noting, you are about twice his size, and it's his very small galley. So he's squeezing around you a bit, and he doesn't seem to mind that much. He seems like he's used to it, but you are definitely between the two of you filling this space.
And I'm going to try and make myself as unobtrusive as possible, or at least provide some footholds.
Okay, so Alviva is standing in the doorway then, eating from her cold plate of food, watching all of this, because she's not going to go in there. It's obviously too crowded.
Yeah.
But Alviva got quite a giggle out of that whole, your accent's terrible thing.
So, Juliana, you finished making your tea.
Yeah. In that case, I'm probably going to go to the wardroom and just kind of like chill out somewhere quiet and slightly less cramped for a little while, because that was draining.
Okay. And you're finding that you're exhausted from flying the ship, but you're also kind of wired.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just had a live wire stuck to your brain for a little while, and it's been pulled off, but you're still kind of buzzing.
Now, I see in the wardroom, it looks like you've populated this with, it looks like there's a desk, and I'm seeing some books. Are there actually books in there?
Yeah, there's, for the benefit of the audience, I'll describe this. The wardroom is generally larger room. This is one of the largest rooms in the ship. Most notable features are there's a little easy chair off to the side. There is a card table with like 3 stools pulled up to it. And there is just a bookshelf off to the side that when you examine it, Juliana, you see is an interesting mix of like almost thrift store old works of literature that you don't recognize, a bunch of magazines, probably, including some that don't seem appropriate for a work environment, and like an entire row of really shitty, trashy romance novels.
Oh, go for the romance novels.
Good. I was hoping to find something that would give me a bit more context to what's going on around here.
Oh, then go for the trashy magazines.
Yeah, actually.
Oh my god, take one of the quizzes in the trashy magazine, such as what planet are you from?
Yes, the trashy magazines seem like the best option to get some more context for this world. I'm into the trashy magazines.
Okay, I gotta make up some trashy magazines. Shit. You managed to find one that says Wildspace Weekly on it. It seems to be about the closest thing to a regular news magazine as you can find, although near as you can tell, it is like years out of date.
Well, yeah, it's like a doctor's office, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's like the laundry room at an apartment building is what this is.
Better still. Yeah.
I'm going to flip through it. I'm assuming, is this a magazine that's like, is this a news magazine, or is this like is this going to have 6 pages of fashion photographs in the middle?
It does not have 6 pages of fashion photographs in the middle. It does appear to be the closest that you can find to like actual news. Like someone has gone around and written down things that happened.
Time magazine for space.
Excellent. Then I'm going to start skimming. I think Jill is someone who's very interested in history and things, but I think she's mostly been successful with historical fiction rather than any kind of nonfiction.
Okay.
So Jill's probably going to start skimming through, looking for any good, interesting factoids that she can find about what this greater world is, what's going on around here. Though she's probably going to end up on some kind of human interest piece about like a mom that has it all.
Okay, you're flipping through and you're finding like random articles about things like somebody mentions the Skrull threat having been defeated. You're not quite sure what that is. Something else about a recently announced merger between 2 Dowar nobles, although you don't know what a Dowar is, and they appear to be referring to the nobles as like board members and not like princes or princesses. And then there's also, next to that story, there's a picture of like 2 4-foot-tall penguin-like creatures in incredibly gaudy clothing.
Is the text making fun of them, or is this supposed to be good looking?
This is like announcing that Prince Harry has gotten engaged.
Oh no!
I thought you said this wasn't a trashy magazine.
All magazines are trash to a certain degree.
Wait, you said
But-
penguins, right?
Yes.
Have I seen a penguin?
Good question. Roll an intelligence check.
Eventually we'll roll 8!
Okay. You've never seen a penguin. What you're seeing is some kind of like black and white bipedal flightless bird with flippers for instead of wings.
This looks like a fat man in a tuxedo wearing a plague doctor mask.
And on top of that is a really gaudy Hawaiian shirt.
I'm excited because I have absolutely zero context for any of what I'm seeing, including what this alien race was based off of in the real world. So this is one
But
of the
you're
balls to the walls weirdest things Juliana has seen. At least spider people made some kind of
But
sense.
they're cute
Yeah.
compared to spiders. They're cute.
Oh yeah, no, they're way less horrifying.
Wait till you meet them.
Oh, ominous.
And then a couple of sensationalist pieces about like various adventuring groups having gone to some long abandoned dwarven citadel and found some magnificent treasure there.
So they're still dwarves then.
Yeah. You're flipping through, and from context, you're getting that there is a major trading route between 3 different spheres that most of travel in wild space travels between. And the 3 spheres you're seeing referred to as realm space, gray space, and Kryn space. But beyond that, you're not getting much context for what exactly they are, probably because it's assumed that the reader would know what they are.
Yeah. Huh. Well, this is just making my head spin more.
What you're seeing as you're flipping through this, you're seeing elves, you're seing humans, you're seeing dwarves, you're seeing weird dragon centaur things, you're seeing
Tell me
incredibly tall
more.
blue people.
Oh yeah,
Cacophony. The cacophony in the helm is just like reading over Juliana's shoulder,
excellent.
and she's like, "Oh no, go back a few pages. I was reading that."
Yeah, you're seeing references to clashes between the Elven Armada and Neogi Death Spider ships. You're seeing things about a Beholder civil war. There's a lot here, and you're having trouble parsing a lot of it. It's just an overload of information.
All right, this was a bad idea. I'm going to take my tea, and I'm just going to kind of wander the ship and try to get a better layout of it. I've been on ships before. I understand those. Maybe this will provide some context.
Okay. Alviva, what are you up to?
Well, I gave my empty plate to the guy in the galley. What was his name again?
Finn.
Finn. Yeah, and sort of signaled thank you, and he sort of said, de nada. And then I took a look at what was going on for a minute in the wardroom there, and I thought, now, you know what? I think I'm just going to go to the cargo bay and take care of my weapons. It's been a long time since they were cleaned, and you never know, they may become in handy soon. So I'm going to go sit on one of those crates in the cargo bay and clean my weapons. And just sort of watch down the hall and keep an eye on Juliana. And then I see Juliana basically get up in frustration and leave.
Yeah, you see Juliana just kind of start wandering the ship.
Yeah. I follow her with my eyes for a little while, but then she goes upstairs and I think, no, Juliana and Cacophony, I think I'll stay down here with my weapons and clean them. I'll talk to Finn. I like Finn. Finn doesn't talk. Finn's my kind of guy. But I'm going to be quiet, though, because the captain is still sleeping, right?
Captain and Mr. Hurst are both sleeping. And in fact, as you walk into the cargo bay, you can see that looking at Mr. Hurst and the size of him, you had been wondering how where he fits aboard the ship, because he can squeeze through the hallways, but he's not exactly he's much bigger than the kind of person the ship was made for.
Mm-hmm.
But over in the corner of the cargo bay, you can see that that there has actually been set up sort of like a room for Mr. Hurst for him to sleep.
Yeah.
And he's just lying on his back and snoring incredibly loudly.
Okay.
I thought that was the engines.
So the sound of me cleaning my weapons isn't going to wake him then.
Oh no, he's out. He's he is unconscious.
Okay. All right. I'll just get a kind of laugh and get a smirk on my face and settle in to do what I came to do.
Okay. Juliana, you wandering the ship eventually do end up on the top deck, and you can see sort of like the stars streaking by. And then you can feel the ship start to slow down. And Cacophony, you are also feeling the ship slow down, not because of any order that you gave it. Intuiting from like what information the ship is feeding you, it seems like this is sort of a safety mechanism. Whenever the ship approaches another gravitational body of sufficient size, it slows down to keep the two from colliding at high speed, which would be very, very bad.
All right. So it slows down, and I'm kind of keeping an aware glance around, trying to figure out what this gravitational body is.
Yeah. Juliana, you're up in the deck. You can also see this, and you're not quite sure what you're looking at first, but as you're looking around, you're realizing that you are amidst about 10 gigantic whale-like creatures swimming through space. They don't have mouths. The fronts of their heads are lined with a row of glowing eyes, and they are about the size of the ship each. There are a couple of juveniles there that are a bit smaller, but these are enormous creatures. They don't appear to be paying you much attention. They're just swimming along, obviously going somewhere, not particularly fast, but you have landed in a pod of space whales.
This is wonderful.
Cacophony lets out that noise, actually, and kind of watches them for a moment and keeps eyeing them, and then kind of looks down. But she kind of knows Juliana's behind her. She goes, "Juliana, could you go ask Finn, since he's still awake, if there's anything we should do here? I don't imagine such, other than enjoy the view."
Yeah, I mean, whales generally don't really.
No, I imagine it's.
Well, this is space. I don't know.
I imagine it's like when you're on a ship and you see animals leaping out of the sea and things like that.
Yeah, I'll at least go let him know.
Yeah, but just in case, it's perhaps when I have to check.
I'm wondering though, do the captain and the other
First,
are they kind of attuned to the ship to the point where it slows down, it wakes them up?
You don't hear anything from the captain's quarters, but as the ship slows down, you see Mr. Hurst kind of like he kind of like startles a little bit, and he starts to wake up, and he's like,
yeah, exactly.
It's waking him up a little bit.
Okay.
But Juliana, as you step out onto the deck, Cacophony and Juliana both make perception checks. Cacophony, since you're attached to the ship and the ship is very aware of its surroundings, I'll say that's with advantage.
Cool. 21.
Okay.
Ooh. How perceptive of you.
21.
Ooh, high five,
Okay.
Juliana.
Hell yeah.
So both of you at the same time become aware of, at the edges of the pod, you can hear the whales start to make noises of distress. And as you look out, you can see what looks like a sailing ship from your planet, a galleon of some kind, 3-masted ship. But it's flying, like yours is, and it comes sailing in towards the edge of the pod. And you can see projectiles being fired from the ship towards the nearest Kindori. It appears to have harpoon lines attached to it.
We've got whalers.
Oh, hell no.
Agreed.
All right, I would have rather let her slip, but I'm going to go get the captain at this point.
Okay. You're going down to get the captain. Cacophony, what are you doing?
Was I told of a way to contact people on the ship from where I'm at?
There doesn't appear to be one, no.
And how... Well, they're pretty far away because I'm in a fucking ship and they're way over there.
Yeah. But you can pilot the ship over in that direction.
I'm going to start gently swaying that way. Okay. Wait, what's it called? Strafing. I'll start strafing gently and avoiding the whales as possible.
Okay. Juliana, as you head below decks, you see Captain Bondar come out of her quarters, having sensed the ship slow down. You see Mr. Hurst waking up in the cargo bay, and Alviva also there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Captain. Real quick, I know we're in space, but how do we feel about whalers?
Not great. and with that, she heads above decks.
I'm going to catch the attention of the others too. Just kind of.
Okay,
Mr. Hurst, I think he just barreled past me following the captain.
I think he did, yeah.
and I figure, well, I guess I better tag along too.
As soon as the captain gets up, Captain Mondo, I've already started strafing towards them if we're going to be doing something about that.
Yeah, and as you're getting closer, you are seeing that this ship is gray with age and wear and barnacles attached to it. The sails are tattered and barely hanging on. And on the deck of the ship, Those don't look like people.
Huh.
Those look a lot more like skeletons.
Oh,
Undead.
Oh, it's a pirate
And with
ship.
that, as soon as Captain Bondar sees that, she's like, go ship, go ship!
Holy
Crew
shit!
strikes! Hit anything that looks like a wizard! And everyone's gone to battle stations. JEMJAMMER is performed by Kit Walker, Annie Creighton, Mackenzie Weaver, and Vicky Sharon, and edited by Jake Mason. Our character art was concepted and illustrated by Rio, who can be found at vriosart.tumblr.com. Our cover art was illustrated by Canary Witch, who can be found at doodlesfromthebird.tumblr.com. Our opening and closing music was composed by Reckoning Storm AudioWorks. You can find us on Tumblr at crookedrussiancam.tumblr.com and on Twitter at JemJamCast. If you enjoy JemJammer and want to support both this show and other projects, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thejemjam.
Hold it now, what's the hoodwink? Hasn't you stop think? You think you're looking at Aquaman. I summon a fish to the dish, although I like the chalet sushi. I like the sushi because it's never touched a frying pan. Hot like wasabi when I bust drums. Big like
Why
Leanne
are you singing
I'm all
one
about
week?
value. Burt Camford's for Jake.
No, hold up. I want to hear the really hard part here.
Burt Camford's got the mad hits. You try to match wits. You try to hold me, but I bust through. Gonna make a break and take a fake. I like a stinking egg and shake. I like vanilla. It's the finest of flavors.
Shit.
Gonna see the show because then you'll know the vertigo is gonna grow because it's so dangerous. You'll have to sign a waiver.
How can I help it when I think it's funny when you're mad? Trying hard not to smile, though I
Trying
feel
hard not to
bad.
smile, though I feel bad. I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral.
Shit. Well
Okay.
done, Mac.
Thank you. You should hear me do the Chickadee China verse. The Chickadee China verse. The Chickadee China verse. The Chickadee China verse. The Chickadee China verse.